I love renals in physiology. But man, when we entered there for the MCQ, when I saw the questions in renals, in fact, as I was answering the questions and skipping most of the questions, I was telling myself, oh boy, renals is not my thing again.
For anatomy, I had to just formulate some answers. I had to think. There were some I did not read. I just had to use residual knowledge.
Questions were much. I think that was the things were too much. 170 system questions were a lot for me. They say experience is the best teacher. I beg to rearrange that. Experience may be the best teacher, but guys, it must not be your experience. Learning from people's experience is wisdom. It helps you not to make the mistakes they made. Today, guys, my friends and I will be sharing our MCQ and essay experience. By the way, if you have not watched the other video in this series, please, I don't know what you are waiting for. Go and watch our Viva experience and 48 hours before our exam. Fast, oh yeah, go. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video because I know that is why you are here.
I'm Samuel Energy, by the way. I want to talk about my experience with the MCQ and the essay. For MCQ, which of them was first? I'm a lover of physiology. I love physiology. In fact, specifically, I love renals in physiology. But man, when we entered there for the MCQ, when I saw the questions in renals, in fact, as I was answering the questions and skipping most of the questions, I was telling myself, oh boy, renals is not my thing again. Renals, because I was seeing things that I had no idea to. So for me, I think physiology was the toughest. Then for the essay, funny enough, guess what? There was community medicine. Community medicine, when I entered for community medicine, when they gave us, the objective, it wasn't MCQ, so I was happy. But then for the essay, when I saw the essay questions, I think we had to answer 4 questions. Question 1, I had an idea. Question 2, 3, 4, and 5, because there were 5 were to answer 4. So when I saw 3 out of those questions, I knew that is either I knew A, I don't know B, and like that. But then God came through for me. That was one of the essay I wrote. I wrote something out of an inspiration, and when I came out, it was correct. So it was community medicine that was the toughest for me. So that was it about the essay and the MCQ. Thank you.
Hello again. All right, so now to talk about my essay and MCQ experience. Essay MCQ, my God. We're coming out of that place saying residual knowledge. Okay, for me, I think each one, for physiology, I think I preferred the essay to both were just basically on the same level for me, sir. For anatomy, MCQ, but compared to essay, I must say BCH, MCQ to essay, it's that for me. I think any advice I would prefer would be, use past questions as well. They help. There's a way they assist you in learning and preparing for MCQs and essays as well. The essays, you cannot really guess it. I'm telling you the truth. We really tried. I must tell you the truth. But in as much as we tried, we were able to guess to an extent, or understand, like I once said, please try to understand, to gain understanding of every concept, and you'll be fine. We were fine.
All right, I'm still Peter Victor Bonnet. So, in my exam, the main exam, I think for MCQ, the one that was the hardest for me was physiology. My God, I was seeing renals everywhere, and then the questions were not very familiar. I was like, I was keeping spaces because it's MCQ, so I was scared. I didn't want to attract a lot of negative, so I left them. I could not even finish. Out of the 170 STEM questions, I think I stopped at 127 or thereabouts. And then the ones I passed, actually many were empty spaces. So, but thank God at the end. So for the essay, I think it was BCH. Oh my God. I saw things. Some of the stuff I knew because I think BC took us by surprise. We never expected those kind of questions. And some of them, I knew them, but I could not remember. I tried. But one thing with essay is that ensure you attempt each question. So out of the 5, till today, if you ask me, I don't know what I wrote. So when we were checking and revising the questions, I said, so now this thing there here, my colleagues were saying this was the answer to this, but the thing was that I attempted all, and thank God it was great. It was great. Thank you so much.
Everyone, I'm Martha, and I just want to share my experience with you. As we wrote the exam. For my theory questions, I would say the hardest for me was anatomy. In the other courses, I had like, say, above 50% of the questions I could answer, but for anatomy, I had to just formulate some answers. I had to think. There were some I did not read. I just had to use residual knowledge. And then for my MCQ, the hardest for me was community health. Although community health was not in MCQ format, it was best of 5. And so it was picking one option that is the best was really something for me. In fact, I had to leave the upper questions. I went to the last. In fact, there were spaces where I just wanted to leave it blank so for community health, it was the hardest for me because it was best of 5. And then more of the questions were from environmental health, and that was the slide I did not really pay attention to. I was just seeing her questions, so that was the hardest for me. And then for theory, it was anatomy. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Grace. Okay, now my toughest essay was biochemistry and com ed. Like the biochemistry, when I saw the question, I was like, what is this? It was 200 level work, essential fatty acid. See, I was just, the thing that God was actually doing it for me that day. I was just writing, and then asked us for eczema disease. That was the compulsory question, section A. I was just writing. I was even drawing what I did not even know that was correct, but it was actually tough for me for biochem. And then com ed was actually difficult for me because they were asking us, Jesus. I was just formulating what was anything that comes to my head, I was writing. And guess what? The compulsory question was concerning these biostatistics and so on. I was like, I wanted to gamble, like, okay, let me put one this. And when I came out, what I gambled, I gambled the essay. That was how it was. And God came through for me. So that was my toughest. Then my toughest MCQ was physiology. Physiology was very, very tough. I would have said anatomy for embryology, but no, physiology was very tough. But at the later part of it, it's 117, so at the later part of maybe 160, and so I could see the light, but that was the toughest.
Hello everyone, it's me again, Victor Jr. For my toughest theory and MCQ, I would say for my toughest MCQ is community medicine. I don't want to say something, but that's the exam that I never studied for. I started the community medicine, then like the day of the examination, and it was a best of 5. And best of 5 is they can put different shades of blacks and say select the best of the blacks there, and it was difficult for me. For my toughest theory is in community medicine, because I don't know what I was writing there. I want to say I was busy writing rumors there, but I thank God that I passed.
So, for my essay, the toughest for my essay, biochemistry and com health is actually sharing, because the com health, these they brought, I did not really read it, so they are sharing. But for my biochem, one of the things I did was, even the one that I don't know, I'll just be writing, I'll be set the question by myself, and I write all the answers that I knew there. That was what I did for the biochem. Then for the MCQ, anatomy and physio, yes, are sharing. I don't really want to say anatomy or physio, but to be honest, the physio was hard though. They brought questions that you had to think. It was a lot, and the questions were much. I think that was the things were too much. 170 STEM questions were a lot for me. But aside that, I think the exam was actually okay, and thank God we passed already.
So, hello everyone. Let me just say a little about my experience with MCQs and KP. So basically, my MCQs. Okay, personally, biased towards MCQs in regards to tests. I love MCQs, so I'm very good at MCQs like that. So I enjoyed the MCQs. Now the only thing about the MCQs was that they were plenty. The questions were plenty. So
at some point I had to be like cracking my hands and all of that. But my skills were okay. My essay now, for me, essay was the toughest among all the exams, all the three. My essay was the toughest. Why was that? Because the amount of things to read actually prepare for itself was another thing, much, and I was not able to attempt the questions. Some of the questions, like the nitty-gritty, although I attended everything. So although I was able to attend everything, I did not know everything about one thing in regards to some of the questions. So that was why. But I was able to attend every question and it was good.